Back to LazArcade with me, BSF Gaming. This is part 2. Part 1, we got disconnected halfway through this main race at Dragon Trail Gardens in the Red Bull Juniors. Just to let you know where we are at, it is lap 14. And here we go. We press this button and we press that button. And we're back. So, Steve-O is currently in the lead, although BSF is right there with him, followed by Jan, Wumjo, Shugs, Dan, Liam, Pickle, and Diva. Like I said, we had a little bit of a disconnect there. For some reason, all the power and internet just went out, and it's come straight back on. So, fingers crossed, it won't happen again. And back to the action. Steve-O and BSF up at the front with Jan now joining. So Steve-O last lap around a 49.2, BSF with a 44.9, a 44.8 for Jan. Why have I got stuff coming through? There we go, loads of stuff. Dan in 5th has had a spin and is slow off of the chicane. Diva is up to 6th. In behind is Wumjo and Shugs with catastrophic damage again at the front. So he's only just pitted, caught back up, and now him and Liam with some heavy damage. So is Wumjo. He's dropping back a little bit. Still looking for a move on Diva. Shugs and Wumjo ding-donging at the back, and again just people not really looking where they're going, just Shugs backing out of that as Wumjo just slides across the track and shovels Shugs up onto the exit curb. Dan with a big slide, nearly loses it, and now that's going to leave Diva to slide through. Shugs and Wumjo filtering out either side of him will have a run. It's 3 wide into the final corner, and Shugs clears them. Wumjo filters in behind, but and a big one from Shugs again. Shugs nearly loses it off of the final corner, keeps it out the wall, but God knows where Wumjo went. Wumjo's gone into the pits, I think. Whether it was forced or not, I don't know. But we've got Liam now at the back. Dan and oh, but Dan's had another little slow corner there. Sorry, I took my eyes off the game for 2 seconds, and here we go. We'll have some action. So Diva and Shugs here. Diva looking, Diva here. I'm gonna give you a little bit of this. So Diva has taken some time recently to learn how to optimize the boost as Shugs goes for a big spin that allows Diva through up into 5th. Diva has taken some time to learn how the boost works and how to drive better in the rain and stuff like this. So there's a few things that a lot of people do, and one of those things is you stay off the dry racing line as long as possible, because you want to get the maximum amount of grip, stop you from sliding, get traction down, and be nice and smooth. So Diva is doing this, and you're seeing where the marbles are. You call it the karting line, generally speaking, when you're in the wet. And you'll see Dan here around the outside just has that little bit more grip, and as they cut back onto the shiny racing line, all that grip just disappears until the track dries back up, and you'll start to slide. And you just look at the lines that he's taking. You're taking on people that are 2 or 3 seconds a lap faster here. So stay out wide, get off that shiny bit there, and you just got so much more grip and power as you fire up over the crests. And even through this one, get down, get in the middle of the road, don't go to the right, stick on it. Again, as you come off the exit here, down with a better one this time. Liam will go up the inside and try and send it all through here. You could just switch back, and Liam again. Liam, you cannot be pushing people like that. Got to be a little bit smarter. Liam, massive dive up the inside. A great move in the end. Lots of ding-dong in here. And as they go down the main straight, 3 wide again. Liam trying to filter into the middle of a gap that doesn't exist. Diva clear of this group into the first corner, but Liam just nudging again, a little nibble. Will now send it up the inside. Oh, and just runs across the nose of Diva, who then has to back out ever so slightly. And Diva and Liam taking the tight line. Dan going out wide. Liam with this damage now will be vulnerable to Diva down this straight. And as you see, they get into the braking zone and Diva's coming back at him hard. And they get the car stopped and rotated nicely, and Diva back on the power nice and early, and he's going to go for the move here on Liam potentially. He's a little bit conservative. Dan a little less so in behind, weaving around to show his nose in intent. And Dan, straight up the inside. Dan, he can't be sending it like that. It's a good recovery from Diva, but again, you're just taking chunks out of each other. And if you look at these guys, they're doing 46s and stuff. I mean, BSF doing a 55 last lap around, so on the phone. Pretty sure I was on the phone that lap. But these guys just ding-donging backwards and forwards. Liam, Dan and Shugs now having a ding-dong. Womjo is finally back into the frame, having pitted a few laps ago for his catastrophic damage, but onto intermediates and getting stuck on the curb there. The car dipping down and bottoming out. Cost him a little bit of time, but it's all good. He's now followed in behind Dan. BSF is down to 8th now, having pitted. Okay, so BSF is pitted onto intermediate tyres and is on his way around the outside. We'll go on board with BSF here, so we'll jump back 10 seconds. BSF on the intermediate, straight out the pits. Womjo and Dan having a ding-dong there. Oh, little nibble. Backs out of the corner. Gets the power on. Nice slide out of the left-hander over the crest. Dan now with the grip. BSF going very deep, missing the braking zone. We'll have to slot in behind. Stays wide though, keeps the foot in it. Dan gets the drive. Dan now looking for the move on Liam, and here comes Womjo, 4 wide into the final corner. BSF backs out. Womjo slides into Dan, who slides into Liam, and again on and a sandwich there. Womjo clashing with Liam and Dan and Liam are both around. Diva picks up some places. Womjo with an ambitious move up the inside, 3 wide into the final corner, just does not work. BSF backs out. Womjo takes a bit of a heavy break mid-corner. And Pickle diving out wide. I think that was just a mistake. Womjo, and Shugs has gone again. Womjo having a slide. BSF with a huge power slide, but gaining good traction. Gets out off of that racing line, down the middle of the track, heavy on the brakes. We'll get the car stopped, slide out onto that karting line where the grip is. Powers on, and we'll get back to the race cam where in a lap and a bit BSF clears everyone, followed by Pickle. Womjo, Shugs kept it out the wall with his big spin. But here we go again, more 3 wide action into the final corner. Womjo and Shugs backwards and forwards. Pickle just in front. BSF has now cleared this group and buggered off up the road. Pickle has got everyone around him, and Diva backing out of this one again. He just wants to have a nice quiet life, I think, the poor guy. Dan is onto some intermediates and sticks his nose in. A little bit of contact with Shugs, goes around the outside of Womjo. Dan goes wide, and now again contact with Womjo as they power through side by side. Liam, who ditched it a couple of laps ago, is already back with these guys. But Dan and Womjo hammer and tong, and Shugs looking at a move on Pickle. Isn't going to be able to make it, so through the S's they go. Just all over the place with what's going on, and in the background Diva here now defending from Liam, and again Liam just all over the place. Just be a little bit more strategic here, boys, and you're going to make some gains on the guys in front. If you're not going to... Oh, and Womjo with a huge slide, and then another dive back to the inside. 3 wide into the final corner again, and Womjo with a massive send. Bit of contact on Shugs, forces down wide. Diva gets a great run compared to the 3 in front, who have all compromised each other massively. Pickle weaving around down the straight, trying to follow BSF, get a bit of aero, and there's Womjo sliding through and pushing Shugs out wide. Again, just take it easy, boys. And Dan now just sends it on BSF, who is very, very slow all of a sudden. BSF's... Oh God, who's that? Is that Liam or Diva? It's Liam. I think Diva's gone and pitted for intermediates. I'm not surprised there. I think BSF was definitely on the phone again. But BSF looking now at Pickle, and he's just going to slide up the inside here, which would put you on the outside for the left over the crest, and just so much more grip. Gets the power on, cuts the undercut, puts it on the outside for the triple right, 2 wheels on to the red Astro, which is not very grippy at all, but then gets that switch back and fires it, and off they go. Okay, so BSF has cleared the pack and the track is drying out very nicely. Sorry, I had to take a quick phone call there. Yanovia up at the front, massively clear as Steve-O, and then BSF, massive sliders going on there. Liam and Pickle, Dan and Womjo, 37 minutes in, 23 minutes to go. Shugs and Diva, where's Diva gone? Diva pitted, he's now at the back waiting to catch back up, but Liam smashes into a wall. Dan's picked up some massive damage too, so they've just had another crash. Shugs and Womjo Pickle are the closest little group, and into the pits they go. So Shugs, Womjo, Dan all into the pits, so is Liam. BSF is out onto the grass and bouncing across the curb and somehow manages to keep it out the wall. Jan is still on some wet tyres and looking to go as long as possible, I think. But yeah, wow, lots of ding-donging and flip-flopping around. So Steve-O in third on the wet tyres. They're going to be burning up very, very quickly. Pickle, Diva on those intermediates, making some huge gains from the back of the pack just a lap or so ago. Granted, Shugs, Womjo, Dan and Liam have all pitted for dry tyres, but they've got to stay on that dry line. BSF, into the pits comes he, in comes Steve-O, in comes Pickle. Diva's gonna go again. Gonna go one more lap is Diva, so that's all good. Jan as well, staying out that extra lap. Diva up to second. Oh, BSF is off. BSF on soft tyres is off and into the wall, and that is a big mistake. Straight out the pits, straight on those soft tyres, into the wall. Diva is up to P2 on the intermediate and a long way back from Jan, who is just churning in some really good laps. So Diva going again. I think Jan has gone as well. So Jan's going to stick out these wet tyres. Just getting some breaking catastrophic news come through from the real world for myself. So apologies for the intermittent breaks here. Shugs. What's Shugs doing? Shugs is on some soft tyres. Pickle's on some mediums with damage. Dan is on some softs with damage. BSF straight into the pits and straight out of the pits on some fresh tyres and no damage. So from the back we'll be looking to just use the boost and use the dry tyres to steady this hemorrhaging lap time. Liam will be looking to do something, as he's just done the same thing, I think, 2 laps ago. So he's looking to get back to the pack. Womjo and that's Pickle off into the gravel, and a big spin, bounces off the wall. Nearly gets collected. Good recovery. Jan is finally into the pits. With 18 minutes to go. Shugs and Diva now up at the front. Is Diva going to come in? Diva is coming in. Diva pitting in from 3rd place on the road. Shugs is closing on Jan, who still hasn't taken any fuel this race, or if he has, not very much. Compare that to somebody like BSF, who's got 3/4 of a tank left and has filled up each and every stop. That is a little bit excessive, maybe. Dan and Womjo fighting, crisscross through the chicane. Big kicks of spray. BSF looking for the triple switchback. Just backs off, lets Dan and Womjo have their little fight. They're side by side coming down the back straight into the hairpin. The drying line is just about a car's width wide, and they both get stopped, but Dan, forced onto the wet patch, gets a little slide and contact's made, and now BSF is up the inside of Womjo and takes the lead. 4-wheel drift across the curb and powers on straight away up over the crest. And Womjo with a little power slide on the exit now. So BSF with 16 minutes to go and some soft tyres. And Womjo's wide. Dan up the inside, pushes him onto the wet curb, slides on through. Pickle with a penalty for some track limits somewhere along the race there, or somewhere along the lap there. Diva now slides up the inside. Steve-O is all good. Liam's all good. BSF is up to 3rd and on the move. Dan and Womjo in behind. Now, BSF's onto the grass again. This time hits the wall. Cannot save it. Round he goes. 360. Good car control. Gets it back under control. Bangs on the curb for good measure. In front, Dan and Womjo now ding-donging again. And Womjo very slow off of that chicane. BSF is coming back at him again. Looks to the right, looks to the left, sends it up the inside. Gets the car rotated on the apex nicely and powers on in behind. Diva, having pitted a couple of laps ago, 2 laps ago now, onto medium tyres, is in 6th place and looking at making very good gains here. Pickle down in 8th, Liam even further back in 9th. He's a considerable way off of this pack. Now, Womjo and BSF are having a little ding-dong. The damage on BSF definitely hindering, as Womjo, oh god, BSF into the pits, Womjo into the pits. So this is going to send Dan up to 3rd place. Diva is up to 4th now. 4th with 14 minutes to go is Diva. Through turn 1 he goes, nice and stable. Looking inside, outside. Dan slides, tyres squealing. BSF is out of the pits, didn't change tyres, just got rid of the damage. So that sticks him behind Steve-O. And a long way back. And Womjo does the same. So BSF's Womjo, Pickle and Liam now all looking to get back as quickly as possible to the pack ahead. Steve-O chasing Diva, who is nicely churning in times here and making the gains. Dan, we've lost. Shugs is now into the lead. So Jan is pitted again, or Jan's lost it. Jan's had a crash somewhere and picked up some damage, and that's let Shugs go through. Now Shugs, once he's in the lead, if he's got a gap, he doesn't need to push and he can just coast at home from here. Like, where's the gap? So Jan is now miles behind. Dan in P3 is even further behind. Steve-O further back even more. Diva, BSF, the winner of the first race, is over half a lap behind. So we'll look from Shugs up at the front. When we get to the 40-second mark, we'll go down to BSF. So 40 down to 13. That's a 27-second lead over BSF, the first race leader or winner, with less than 12 minutes to go. Dan, Steve-O, BSF up to 5th now, past Diva. In the slipstream of Steve-O, puts it out on the wide, gets the cut back, powers on early, no sliding. Into that slipstream, into the S's we go. Just glance the curb, get the car nicely slowed down. Out to the right hand side, brake heavily around the outside of Steve-O. Fantastic move from BSF. Steve-O slow, has Diva now attacking down the outside, who backs out. Diva very, very cautious into this triple right-hander. The curbs are still wet, and he's not going to risk it for absolutely nothing with this time to go. But Womjo and Pickle are already back with this group. Liam is also on the move. So Steve-O chasing down BSF, and BSF has Dan in his sights. This is going to go down to the wire. BSF pulling away from Steve-O, who's dragging Diva along with him, dragging Womjo as well, and Womjo's dragging Pickle as they go through. Pickle's going out wide. Liam's into the pits. Womjo up the inside of Diva. Diva goes for the switchback but gets blocked. Pickle goes around the outside in an ambitious move and cuts them both off, but gets over the curb, and Womjo now has the run back past on the outside. They head down into the hairpin. Pickle slots in behind and comes out and dives up the inside, but can't get it stopped. So Womjo now does the cutback, and they're going to go side by side again through this section. Pickle comes out in front, and a big contact from Womjo. Womjo hits Pickle, slows down in the middle of the corner and goes around Diva, getting caught right out by the slowing Womjo in the middle of the road, and Womjo smashes into the wall. I think Diva is trying to give the place back, but you don't slow down in the middle of the corners here, boys and girls. You got to give places back safely, not just as and when it happens. But Pickle getting absolutely annihilated. Womjo taking him out there. That's left a bit of a gap as BSF goes back up into 3rd place, up the inside of Dan. So we're looking at Shugs. We'll go from the 40-second, we'll have to go from the 45-second gap now, so, or 50 seconds, because I've missed it twice now. So 50 to 23, 27 seconds still back to BSF. Jan damaged, only 9 seconds up the road. Dan and Steve-O roughly nose to tail, and Steve-O's going to go for the move. He's going to pull out. Dan with the damage is going to be very, very slow through this section and goes out wide, manages to get it cut back, Steve-O gets a much better run over the crest, goes to the left, thinks better of it. Dan covers him off nice and early. Dan now force wheel sliding through the triple right-hander. Steve-O with a great run off the exit. And Pickle back into the fight now. Is looking for some sort of retribution. Mum Joe still hasn't pitted for his damage just yet. Liam is all on his own otherwise, because he is completely off strategy. So Dan and Steve-O and Pickle all ding-donging around with each other. Various amounts of damage between the three of them. BSF on those soft tyres, 8 minutes to go now, 7 minutes nearly, chasing down Jan, dragging along this misfit group of Steve-O, Dan and Pickle. We've lost Diva again, I believe. I did see him in auto mode just now. But and Steve-O this time on the curb gets into the side of Dan. Pickle takes a big lift, but filters in behind and just gets straight onto the back of Steve-O. Steve-O there with a big slide, nearly taking Dan out. Dan with a huge collection of understeer into oversteer into contact. And now all sorts of carnage is kicking off. Shugs up, Steve-O up the inside of Dan into turn one. Pickle having a nose. So BSF to Shugs is around about the same sort of gap. Steve-O, Pickle and Dan again into the side of Pickle. Just back out and follow somebody. You don't need to get sending it on every single corner, boys. You're costing yourself time. Jan has pitted. Yes, Jan has pitted. So rather than lose the place and just keep going backwards with the damage, Jan has pitted and got some fresh tyres, and will now, for the last 6 minutes, give or take, be on the move forwards. Wumjo at the back, a long way back now. Liam has pitted for some soft tyres. Yeah, soft tyres and some gets rid of his damage. But Dan and Pickle losing touch of Steve-O. So you can see the two damaged cars there. The huge detriment of speed to Steve-O, who has just pulled away from them this lap as these two damaged cars fight. And they're losing ground hand over fist to Liam and Jan, who are now flying along. And as they cross the line, you're looking at Jan with a 27 or a 28.4. 28.1 from Liam, a 36 for Dan, a 35 for Pickle, and a 32 for Steve-O. 31 for BSF, a 30.7 for Shugs. So again, the two leaders, the fastest people on track, minus Jan and Liam, who have got massive amounts of boost. And Wumjo nearly loses it out of the last corner. Shugs over half a lap ahead now, or nearly half a lap ahead, is just coasting to the end here. Doesn't need to be doing anything silly, but is coasting. Steve-O, in behind here we got Jan has made a couple of places past Liam and Pickle. Pickle going backwards, Liam looking left, looking right, sends it up the inside. Cannot get by. And as they come onto the exit, Pickle goes back up the inside of Liam, and again side-by-side contact through the final corner. And the side-by-side slipstream down the main straight. Jan goes wide. Dan goes even wider. Oh, in contact with Liam and Jan. Liam and Jan contact in the middle of the first chicane. 57 minutes on the clock. That's 2.5 minutes to go. Probably down to the last 2 laps, depending on where Shugs is. Shugs might get a victory lap all of his own at this rate if he's going to, because BSF definitely won't get across the line by the looks of it. So Steve-O in P3. Womjo's into the pits and is... Oh, he's out of the pits. So Shugs has gone wide. He's onto the grass with a lap and a bit to go. That's not what he wants. He just needs to settle down. Doesn't want to do anything silly. Here comes BSF. Again, coming around that final corner. Might get onto the final lap. Steve-O as well. It's a good little run off of this last corner. So there's a couple that might make it to this last lap if they get their boots down. But oh, here we go. This is definitely the last lap brigade here though. But Dan for Jan losing out to Liam around the outside. Oh, a bit of a hip check. Squeezing onto the car. Pickle looking for a move up the inside. Liam goes deep. The switchback tries to get low and deep, but it can't, and Pickle has to take avoiding action. We'll go to Pickle at the back of this group. Pickle sends it on Liam. Liam, oh, just up the inside of Jan. A little graze as he slides through. Jan has to back out and goes back up around the outside of Pickle. Through the S's they come. Liam up the chuff of Dan, through the left, over crest, down the hill they come for the final time, into the triple right-hander, and Liam again straight into the side of Dan, sends Dan wide. That allows Jan through. Then here we go, up to the final corner. Jan inside Liam, inside Dan. Pickle gets a good run, and they're off the corner. I think this is how they're going to end. Shugs and BSF have gone through. Steve-O crosses the line. Jan 4, Liam 5, Pickle 6, Dan 7. Womjo chasing down Shugs on his victory lap. But Shugs almost bingo fuel there. Just taking it easy through this triple right-hander. Up to the final corner we come. We'll sit on board with Shugs. Shugs into the final corner. Taking it nice and easy. Nice long radius. Powers it on down the straight. Shugs to take the win. That's 3 out of 4 races in the AMC for Shugs. BSF on the phone a few times during the race and now comes home in second place. Womjo has crossed the line. He's now finished, so we're just waiting on BSF. Into the final corner. Round the corner we go. And on we are to the finish line. And a very good job for BSF, who managed to take the first win but not the second. So Shugs first, BSF second, Stevo third, Jan 4, Liam 5, Pickle 6, Dan a very messy 7th place, Womjo a 8th place of several laps down, having pitted for a while, and Diva in 9th will get points, however lost connection at some point. Now that's the end of AMC Charity Series 8 today. We will be back in the forthcoming future with more races. On that note though, have a very good day. Take care of yourselves, and if you need anything, come give us a shout. Drop a message in the chat. We're here to help. Thanks for your time. Till next time. See you again.